Greetings everyone, welcome to the channel if you're new, and if you're oldie and goodie, thank you so much for your support. In today's video, I'm going to do a reaction to a YouTube channel, and I do these from time to time, and I'm going to be doing more of this in 2024. And today's feature is Coco Girl. Now, I discovered Coco Girl's channel recently, and I have spent many days watching the channel. I find Coco Girl channel is a social experiment, a great experiment for someone like myself. And I think it's very important, for us to engage with some of these content, because it's through these information we learn and we grow. There's always takeaways, positive and negative takeaways from every one of these content creators. I am sure there are times when I make videos that rub people the wrong way, and I am sure there are times when persons will say to me, I learned so much from listening to you. So, the aim of this is to speak my truth, and without tongue-in-cheek, of course. And I do understand that when you raise awareness, some of our own people will be the first to attack you, especially when it comes to foreigners. Okay, they're obsessed with foreigners. And so if you speak the truth, and it so happened that the truth is about someone in or from our country, Jamaica, they are not so defensive. But when it comes to talking about or raising awareness about things that might happen with people from other places in the world, they're gonna come for you. So I'm kind of expecting it in this video. The intention is not to create discord. The intention is just to say what I see, and to say to all of these foreigners that come to Jamaica to create content, hope you're enjoying your stay, hoping that you will continue to contribute to the economy in one way or the other. Okay, now the topic that I'm going to discuss here, and again, the content creator is called Coco Girl, and the topic I'm going to respond or react to is titled "Say to this local exactly what I think." So I repeat, say to this local exactly what I think. So if you're going over to subscribe to Coco Girl, you know exactly what which one of the episodes that I'm talking about here. One of the things that came or emerged in this video, I remember hearing Coco Girl saying to someone that she used to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning and go to work by 8, and that she felt controlled and wanted to literally get out of the matrix. And so for her, traveling around the world to different parts of the world to create content was something that, brought her that kind of freedom. And so the episode that I'm talking about here is with her being in Jamaica. She talks about how beautiful Jamaica is and how she loves the country and the culture. Now, in that particular video, 1724, at the 1724 mark, she's having a conversation with this gentleman who, by the way, it's just so embarrassing when you look and see this young lady traveling throughout, different parts of Jamaica, and the cat calls and the men fawning at her, and some of them are so blatant in the way they show their affection. And then you have a different set of men that, you know, say these horrible things about Jamaican women in an attempt to get brownie points from her. It's just embarrassing, and I'm going to post some of that so you can see it, just so you understand. So as she travels throughout Jamaica and she meets these men who are naturally drawn to her because of her white skin, to be honest with you, or the fact that she's a foreigner, um, she has some discussions and she speaks her truth. And I have no issues with her truth. But as someone speak their truth, you can learn something. And a lot of what Coco girl says is very high opening, and I think people should listen carefully to her. So, so at the 1724 mark in this topic, she says Jamaica will not bring me no value, and this is someone saying to her that they can, when they found out that she's single, that they're the man she's waiting for. She says traveling to Jamaica, the main goal for her is to talk with the locals and to get to know them. So she's really not interested in going to the resorts. And if you listen to her, when she's asking for prices for taxi or food or whatever, she always says, what is a local price? So, you know, she meets these different guys throughout her journey, and they sometimes accompany her to, you know, give her, you know, an idea of what it's like to just roam freely in Jamaica, and, you know, give her the heads up of what is needed for her to really do this travel as a single woman. And I must say she's very brave and very bold, sometimes too bold if you ask me. She is an Israeli woman, and, you know, she talks about the system, the metrics, and just her desire to be free. I'm just repeating this part. So in this particular episode, she meets this young boy named Giovanni, and, you know, they strike up this conversation and almost, you know, like a friendship, a spontaneous friendship. And the boy, well, someone is heard in the background saying to her that she's putting the camera in the boy's face and I hope she's going to pay him. Well, if you watch Coco Girl, you'll understand that when it comes to money and asking her to give people money, it's something that she gets very irate about. And some of the things that she says, I do agree with her, but there's a few things I have to ask her. So I just want to continue in the video before I get there. But as she was having the conversation with Giovanni and she hears this man in the background yell that she should hope she's compensating him for his time, and she sort of loses it. And the boy, she started telling the boy that, you know, this man is getting into her pocket and he doesn't know anything about her and what she does with her money. And she's very angry, and she says, the boy says to her, are you going to give me money? And all of a sudden, Coco girl lost it. She was no longer interested in this boy. And she says because she's making money off YouTube, she's asking if she should share our money, and if people think she's going to do that, they should dream on. And she gets into this thing that I really like. She says money is energy, and so she will not allow anyone to tell her how to spend her money, who to share her money with. And I always say this on my channel, that we have to be very careful with who we give our money and what we do with our money, because it's energy. At the 22:04 mark, when Giovanni asked her, are you going to give me money, Coco Gal goes off in a tirade. At the 22:17 mark, she says, you need to work hard for your money. You are children. You look healthy. You got a mother and a father. She says, don't Don't think people from outside can save you. And she says she touched her skin to say, don't think people with my skin color can save you. You have to save yourself. You have to save yourself. I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that. She says, I say money, and money comes to my hand. And I had to laugh when she said that. Someone dropped some money on the ground and she picked it up and handed it over to the person who dropped the money. And she was saying, well, I was talking about money, and as soon as I mentioned it, money comes to me. And what I want to ask Coco is that when the boy that you were talking to asked you about money, you got so angry. So why can't the black boy talk about money and money comes to him? At the 23 mark, 23:01, she says, I'll never give money to a boy, to a child. If I do, he will become lazy and he will think foreigners are their wallet. And so she goes off to say, if that same boy was on the floor, she would help him, as she did when she was in Ghana and somebody was sick. She would help the person. But her job pretty much is not there to save him. The person that was yelling in the background, in my opinion, was very correct. But Coco girl said that she thought it was wrong and it was a terrible approach for the man to be telling her to give money to this boy or anybody that goes on her camera. And she was explaining that when people come to Israel and ask for direction, she would never ask for money or have expectation to get money. But Coco, here's what I want to say to you. That is apples and oranges. Because if someone goes to Israel and see you and ask you for direction to the supermarket, that person doesn't have a camera stuck in your face. That individual does not make money at the end of the month on the content that is created. Now, I'm not saying that everyone that is on your camera should be paid. But if truth be told, so many foreigners continue to exploit the Jamaican people. And they'll go to the same ones over and over and create content with these individuals, enrich themselves. Coco, you're not just traveling to Jamaica to just meet poor people and to just deal with locals. You're there to make money. This is your job. This is a job that you've created for yourself so you can get out of the matrix. And you speak about your experience in the army and the freedom that you now have from being able to go to all these different places. And of course, you vibe with the Rastafarians, and the Rastafarians are vibing with you, because you understand that once you put a Rastaman on your camera, you're going to get the views. Let's keep it real, okay? And the Rastamen, for the most part, and we're going to talk about Rastafari, and we're going to talk about modern or new Rasta people. They are different. I'm going to talk more about that in another video. But, because the Rasta sells, these women from around the world are not just women, to be honest with you. Foreigners in general, they fetishize. It's like the Rasta is portrayed as a kind of object. People recognize that they draw attention. People are fascinated with them. And I have a few things to say to some of these Rastafarians, because listen, the Rastafarians of the past, they understood a few things, but these new age Rastas, they don't know themselves. They don't understand. And because someone has locks doesn't mean they're Rasta first and foremost. If we're talking about the religious or spiritual path of Rastafari, it's a whole different thing than someone who just wear dreads. And a lot of these individuals that are referred to as Rastafarians really aren't. They never even told anybody that they were, but people just are attracted to them because of the locks. And so it doesn't matter how foul they might be and how their representation of Rastafari, you know, presents this negative image. They're there for the attention. So Coco Girl is very upset. And in this episode, Coco Girl actually chases down the guy that made the report or the remark in the background that says she should give money to the person who she has on her camera. She said that's of low mind. To have that attitude about money is really of low mind. And I'm paraphrasing her to some respects, but I'm thinking, why, when you're in Jamaica making money, because of your encounter with some of these individuals, why aren't you thinking this is low mind? When you have folks who support you in through your PayPal, it's you asking for help. So if someone is doing a video, whether you ask them in the video or they ask you to be a part of the video, you feel that because you say, I am on YouTube, I have my camera, if you choose to come in my camera, I don't owe you anything. They could also say the same thing to you too. So you'll go to different parts in Jamaica and you'll have people that will not have you film them, because they know that this is a business for you and they don't want you to turn them into a capital. So she goes and she confronts the man who tells her that she's exploiting the youth. And she accuses him of being rude. And she was saying that she doesn't need to explain what she does with her money. And she was, you know, really not having it. And of course, you know, the gentleman had to say to her, listen, everybody's seen you. And if I feel like calling you out on this, I can do so. And if it didn't matter to you, why you chase me down to make the point? No. Coco, you also have a habit of calling men boys, even though you know their name. And you say, this is nothing. It means nothing. It's very disrespectful. You know their name. And even if you don't know their name, you can ask them because they're right there beside you. You're engaging with them. You call them boy. And my question is, do you call the men in Israel boy? The men that you interact with, do you call them boys? Because you do that a lot. And you need to stop it. It is very rude. So you're saying that these people are acting like they're entitled to your money, but you are also acting like you're entitled to their lives. And you are against them bringing that up. She goes on to say that she doesn't like the mindset of these Jamaicans, that their mindset is low, and those low kind of mindset is not in other countries. Well, that statement is very loud. And so Coco seems like a very nice girl, but some of the things she says are also the truth, to be honest, but they're loaded truths. My question to you is, are you doing YouTube for free? If you found out that all of a sudden the views dried up from Jamaica, would you fly there? No, you wouldn't. So I want you to stop saying that you're coming here just, you know, to engage with the locals and just to get to know the people, because that's not your main goal. As you go in search of content, you get to meet nice people that you form relationship with, and some of these relationships might last forever. And I'm not saying that your intention is not pure in terms of engaging with people and getting to know the culture and loving the food and being fascinated with everything Jamaican. But I just want you to keep it real. That before all of that, the idea is to make money. And when you say that Jamaica will not add value to you, that was very loud. And I don't want to hear anything about, oh, it's not my language and so I misunderstood. You said what you said, and you're an intelligent person, and you go all around the world. Go to Africa, do the same thing. I saw an episode where you're in Africa where those guys had the rat, and you purchased the rat's freedom. And no, those men were very upset because they wanted it for themselves. And some of the things that you say, you're not able to hide your feelings. Your truth comes out, Coco. And I like you for that. I like when people speak their truth. I don't like to silence people because it's all you can truly know your position when they speak their truth. And so she's saying people are believing that if she succeeds, then she must share her wealth with them. And I'm saying, let's examine the analogy of someone going to your country and asking for your help, and you then capitalizing, or they ask you for your help and then capitalize on you telling them how to get around. That's a big difference. When you make content and people are agreeing to be a part of your content, of course, but when you're able to then monetize that interaction, it's completely different from you just giving someone information and they're going about their business and they're not collecting a check at the end of the month. Let's keep it real, let's see. In one of her episodes, she talked about how she loved this homeless man that she always goes to because he doesn't ask her for anything. She loves him. She loves him because he asks for nothing. And in one of her episodes, she talked about loving to film in India and how she was really fascinated about how the Indian men referred to her as madam. That was very telling as well. People, if you like what you hear, or if you're curious, I want you to go over to Coco Girl and check her out and look for the topic. This one video, say to the local exactly what I think. So Coco really has no problem saying exactly what she thinks, and I'm here for it. I loved it because I think when you allow people to speak their mind, you're in a position where you're forewarned. Jamaica, as I said in the previous video, is that hub where all these foreigners go because they recognize the RPM is high, and the culture and all that it offers is something that people around the world is fascinated with. Coco Girl is bold and she's brave, and she's very rude too, if I might add. You go check her out, and let's continue to share our thoughts and our ideas. And don't be afraid that because you dare to speak, others will try to silence you. Don't be afraid of that. Just continue to speak the truth. And stay blessed, everyone.